Now then, Marley. Alright, son. We're going to have to hang fire on the walk for a bit because, see that out the window? That's Hurricane. I don't think it's Bertha. I think that was the last one, Hurricane Bertha. It's whatever this current one is. It's the tail end of it, and it came from Bermuda, son. Bermuda. And it's not the only thing that's swept in with its origins in tropical climes. It's caused a bit of a furore across the nation the last couple of days, is it? Hey? Talking about the UKIP Calypso, son. You know that song I was listening to all day yesterday and chuckling about? That was called the UKIP Calypso. It upset a few people. There's an old, not much older than me, but a long-serving, formerly Radio 1 DJ who made the news for reasons not in any way connected to sexual impropriety with children or otherwise, which you might think was kind of refreshing, eh? He's a UKIP member, and he has made a song called the UKIP Calypso, and in it he sings in a sort of a cod Jamaican accent. It's not... I wouldn't go so far as to describe it as music, but I suppose if you were putting it into a category for the purposes of selling it, then I suppose that's where you would look for it, in the music category. And sell it did. It's gone to the top of several download charts almost immediately. And this has brought about what I can only describe as a storm of protest. What it's done is divided effectively the nation into two camps, those with a sense of humour and those without a sense of humour. It almost follow the same lines as those who are members of or supporters of the United Kingdom Independence Party and those who aren't. And the hatred from those who aren't, and that's not too strong an expression, it's hatred. There was one young lady, alarmingly pretty kid, looks like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth, who avowed that she'd like to kick every UKIP member in the teeth, I think was her exact quote. Teenage angst, I don't know, or just the sort of madness that we seem to bring about in people. There's an upside to this. I mean, let's assume, for the sake of humanity, that hatred, the reservoir of hatred amongst the humourless Liberal Democrats, Labour people, and a lot of Conservatives, let's assume that it isn't a bottomless pit, that there are some limits to the amount of hatred they have. Then it's probably better that they vent it on a group as robust as UKIP, who are kind of used to it to an extent, rather than taking it elsewhere and causing distress to people less well equipped to cope with that level of hatred. It's I'm sorry, I can't help laughing about the effect that it's had. The wording of it, I've downloaded it 4 times just because somebody was annoying me on Twitter, and each time he ticked off one of the words on my bingo card, I downloaded it again just because I could. So I downloaded it once for him calling me a racist, and once for him calling me a fascist, and once for him calling me a bigot, and the 4th one I'd already downloaded it just because I'm a UKIP member and it seemed like the right thing to do. So, yeah, the UKIP Calypso, it's called. If you haven't already downloaded a copy and you're not insane or filled with hatred, go and have a listen to it. It's not great music. I really don't think Harry Belafonte's got anything to be worried about if he's still alive. God bless him. But I don't think it's meant to be. It's a quirky little bit of fun from a political party that seems to be about fun and, doing the right thing as well. We've been ploughing our lonely little furrow for quite some time, but it's getting less and less lonely. More and more people are getting switched on to the fact that there is a viable alternative to the well, what we've had for the last several decades throughout living memory, really, which is just pretty much people with their own vested interests feeding at the political trough. There are some other interests in amongst that. You know, I think there are certain members of the established order who don't want anybody who isn't part of the club getting a seat at the top table unless they uncover any historical improprieties of whatever nature they might be. So, you know, people do have their reasons other than believing that they are correct. I don't really see that people can be classed as sentient human beings and think that they're correct in wanting the status quo, the political status quo, to remain. But, you know, it's a free country, just about, still. Going to become freer if we get the right result in May. So, fingers crossed. In the meantime, go and have a listen to the UKIP Calypso. I think it's a bit of a laugh, if nothing else. Right, Marley, I don't think this rain's going away. We're just going to have to go and brave the elements, but we don't care, because we're from up north, aren't we, son? We're from up north, we're not bothered. Take care.